Hello and welcome to the MBI Share in Halifax, where we're here to bring you live uninterrupted commentary of this Betfred Championship Round 15 clash between Halifax Panthers and Featherstone Rovers. Featherstone come into this game on the road, a close West Yorkshire rivalry, on the back of a thumping 66 points to 0 win over Whitehaven at the Millennium Stadium last time out. Their first win in 6 matches for Featherstone, and looking to make it back-to-back wins and cement their place in the championship top 6 spot. Halifax, it's been a difficult season for them so far. They sit down in 11th place in the table, and having been humbled 28 points to 0 away at Sheffield last time out, they're desperate for a win to try and start climbing up the ladder and making something of their season. We're just a few minutes away from kick-off here, an overcast afternoon at the MBI Share. Holding off for rain at the moment, but could potentially get some throughout the 80 minutes. The team news is in. We'll start with Featherstone, who make 5 changes to the side that beat Whitehaven last time out. Some forced changes with suspensions to Danny Addy, Dec Patton and Gadwin Springer, with Paul Turner, with Toby Warren, I beg your pardon, and Leo Tennyson also dropping out of the side. But coming into the side this afternoon for Rovers, Greg Eden returns, and a return, of course, for Ben Reynolds, who rejoined the club in the week leading up to this fixture. Nathan Massey returns up front and captains the side this afternoon. Brad England onto the bench, and a debut for youngster Zeus Silk, former Hull FC academy player signed from amateur club West Hull just this week, starts for Featherstone this afternoon. So the full team lineup is as follows. Greg Eden is the fullback, 3/4 line of Gareth Gale, Connor Barley, Greg Minican, Connor Wynn. Caleb Aikens moves into the halves to partner Ben Reynolds. Up front for Featherstone, Nathan Massey, Connor Jones, Maurice Camano, with Brad Day, Josh Hardcastle and Zeus Silk rounding off the starting side. On the bench for Fed, Harry Bowes, Ben Nakabawai, Brad England and Paul Turner. Charlie Harris is the 18th man. Halifax, they make just 2 changes to the side that lost to Sheffield last time out, with Gareth Widdop and Adam O'Brien, the experienced duo, dropping out of their side, but they're able to recall from injury Ben Crooks and Tom Inman on the bench. So Halifax line up like this. James Woodburn Hall is the fullback, the 3/4 line of Zach McComb, Ed Barber, Ben Crooks and Charlie Graham. Louis Jouffre partners Joe Keys in the halves. Up front for Fax, Adam Tangata, Corey Johnson, Jacob Fairbank, with Ben Kavanagh, Matty G and Connor Davies round off the starting side. On the bench for the Panthers, Tom Inman, Ryan Lannon, Kevin Leroyer and Clement Boyer. Ben Hersey is the 18th man for the Panthers this afternoon. As I mentioned, Featherstone sits 6th in the table, very congested around that area. A win today would ensure that they keep their place in the playoffs, and with results going their way, could catch up to the chasing pack, just try and close the gap between them and the top 4. But the last 6 weeks have been difficult for James Ford's side, with some difficult results and some difficult performances, but very much turning their form around last week. 11 tries against Whitehaven in Featherstone, really showing what they could do in attack. And a little bit of history between the 2 clubs. This is the 50th meeting in the summer era between Featherstone and Halifax, with Featherstone having the better of it with 30 wins opposed to Halifax's 19. And Featherstone have an exceptional record here at the MBI Share. They've won 14 of their last 16 matches here. Incidentally, their latest fixture this time last year, they did lose 25 points to 22. And earlier on in this season, Featherstone, in the return fixture at the Millennium Stadium, Featherstone beating Halifax by 36 points to 16. That was back in May. As the 2 sides come out onto the field this afternoon, Nathan Massey back in the side after an injury layoff leads the side this afternoon. Featherstone in their changed light blue and navy blue strip. Halifax in their predominantly white with blue striped home jersey. The man in the middle for this game is Liam Rush. And in just a couple of moments, we'll be getting this game underway.
Halifax Panthers recently learned Jeff was an Australian guest player for Halifax in the championship winning season of 1985-86 from Canterbury Bulldogs. He returned to Sydney to play for Canterbury after the 1986 Premiership final, Whilst here in the UK, he made 30 appearances, scoring 8 tries. He was a ferocious prop forward, noted for his crunching tackles and barn-storming hit-ups. His trademark long dark hair and bushy beard gave him the nickname Wildman. As a Halifax Rugby League fan in the 1980s, it's a massive honour and privilege for me to ask you to be upstanding if you're able for a minute's applause for our fantastic former player, Jeff Wildman Robinson.
There we have it, a minute's applause there for former Halifax favourite Jeff Robinson, Australian, who unfortunately passed away this week. And a fitting tribute for the fans here at the NBI Shea Stadium, but we're just about ready to get this game underway. It's Halifax Panthers versus Featherstone Rovers, Betfred Championship round 15 action. Featherstone will be attacking from right to left as we see it in this first half, and Featherstone will have first use of the ball. What an afternoon this is for Zeus Silk. Played with under James Ford at York, of course, but been plying his trade in the amateur leagues. And really catching the eye for West Hull. Straight into the starting lineup this afternoon in the place of the suspended Danny Addy, who misses just his first game of the season. Connor Jones now the only man ever present for Featherstone as Louis Jouffret gets the game underway. It's taken on that far touchline side by Connor Barley. Scored his first try for Featherstone last week. He plays the ball 20 feet out from the line. Kamano now elevated into the starting side. Goes down in a trio of Halifax jerseys just shy of the 30. Gale. Ball going wide here to Reynolds. Early touch gives it on to Day. Day. He scored a hat-trick last week against Whitehaven. Really causing problems in that left edge channel. Plays it on the 40. Massey. Good to see him back in the lineup. Up and over that 40-metre line now. He'll play it in centre field. Couple of tackles still to come for Featherstone. Silk now with his first carry. He's cut down in a strong challenge there by Fairbank, but he goes again. He plays it on the halfway. Ball comes out to Aikins, operating at standoff this afternoon. A high hanging kick there, a tester at the back for Woodburn Hall, but he takes it well and he's immediately wrapped up. The trio of Featherstone jerseys and Halifax will start their set 20 metres away from the line with their first possession. Come forward through Kavanagh. It's put to ground on his back for minimal gain there. In fact, it was Graham, the man playing the ball. He come forward now through McComb. Tries for a high tackle there, not given by the referee. Up around the shoulder, he said. He'll play it 30 metres out. Johnson hands it on to Fairbank this time, through the middle of the field. Halifax trying to get over that halfway line. Will play it 5 short. Johnson again, Tangata. Quickly to meet him was Connor Jones. He'll play the ball on halfway. So both sides getting through their first set without any real problems. Keys goes to the air this time. We'll find Connor Wynn on the 10. And Wynn has a little bit of room to move and makes the best part of 10-11 metres after pouching that kick safely. 2 minutes gone here at the NBI Shea. Halifax 0, Featherstone 0. Minican comes in for a carry. He's brought to ground by Johnson. Fairbank in there as well. Here comes Gale, play to specialist. Up and 5 short of halfway now. Reynolds Double pumps, gives it to Day now. Got a little bit of room to move, advances the ball up to the 40 inside Halifax's half. Still a couple of tackles to come for Featherstone. Reynolds just hands it off this time to Kamano. Route 1 carry straight through the middle of the Halifax defence. Good finishing point for Featherstone here, 30 metres away from the line on the last. Reynolds has the kicking duties, puts it high. This will be cut off about 5 short of the try line by Woodburn Hall, and a great kick chase led again by Codder Jones. So good opening 2 sets from Featherstone, having Halifax working out of their own corner here. As Graham comes forward, Charlie Graham. He's wrapped up in the tackle there of Massey and Kamano. 2 tackles gone, still inside their own 10. Crooks back in the side after an injury layoff, goes down on the 10-metre line. Good defensive display so far from Featherstone in this set. Slow play the ball. They come left side to Jouffre, trying to get things going forward for his side, and does well to advance the ball up over that 20-metre line, but Halifax still deep inside their own half here as Johnson goes for a carry, trying to pinch a few metres, but Silk was in there to close him down. That'll be the last one. Kicking from deep here is Jouffre on his own 13. He was under pressure from Hardcastle. That'll take a couple of bounces into the arms of Gareth Gale, who just careers back into the line, and he'll be brought down on Featherstone's 40. So easily Featherstone's best set of the game so far in defence, has them attacking the line as Eden comes forward. Playing against his former club, of course, as a mid-season signing from the Panthers. Wynn comes forward up and over that halfway line, finds his front. Massey comes forward again. Good low tackle coming in there from Fairbank. They come short side. Aikins gives a quick ball onto Hardcastle. Hardcastle just straightens up the line there. And he's brought to ground by Davis on that far side, 20 metres out. This is the best attacking opportunity Featherstone have had, but it is the last tackle. An attacking kick coming here, perhaps. Aikins gives it out the back here to Reynolds, digs it to the line, gives it to Eden. Eden 2-on-1 there, and he's just has to take the tackle. The defence on the inside from Halifax was good, and they've turned it over as Reynolds has just taken a bit of a knock there in back play. He was levelled after passing the ball. He's just clutching at a shoulder there. And he asks the question to the referee, but nothing given. It was just a bit of a burner there on his shoulder. But we'll keep an eye on Reynolds as Fax come forward here. McComb with the carry. 5 minutes gone here in Halifax. It's Halifax 0, Featherstone 0. Silk in there to effect the tackle on Davis, 20 metres away from the Halifax line. They come forward again. G now. Super League experience, of course, with London Broncos, Hull Kingston Rovers. He's been stung in that tackle there from Day. Plays it very gingerly. It's Keys, crabs across the field, gives it out to Jouffre. Early ball out to Kavanagh. Kavanagh trying to go around Barley. Barley comes again from the inside and harasses him to the ground 5 short of halfway. Crooks, quick play of the ball, scampers out dummy half, tries to stand up Aikins. Aikins comes again, makes a good tackle. Halifax have salvaged some field position here. Going to kick from halfway through Jouffre. Puts it high. And Eden takes it comfortably under no real pressure there and has a bit of 10 metres of real estate. He just fires the ball over the top there to Minikin into space. Minikin's away down the left touchline here. He's got Reynolds in support. He's trying to size things up. He eventually trips over his own feet and he goes down 25 metres away from the line. If they can spin the ball wide here, Featherstone, there is a good chance of scoring. Aikins has it middle of the field to Hardcastle. They've got it all the way out to Barley. Barley trying to go on the outside of his man. Halifax's defence has recovered well, in fairness. They make the tackle 10 metres out on that far touchline. Gale, one-off carry, just takes them on himself, Gareth Gale. Goes down a metre short of the line. The space here on the open side, a 6 again here. Hands in the ruck from Halifax. Now then, this is a real opportunity, the first real clear-cut chance for Featherstone in this game as Silk has the ball on just the first tackle. Bang in front of the uprights, 10 metres out. Options left and right. They spin it left, Aikins. Short ball there from Massey. And Massey goes down in the tackle there. Good low tackle from Fairbank. Lannon was in over the top. Short side play there for Day, trying to backpedal towards the line. Can he get to his tail? He's got the ball down! Brad Day! And the referee points to the spot. And in a similar fashion to how he scored one last week. 3 tries, of course, against Whitehaven last week. Gets on the board again this afternoon and starts the scoring for Featherstone. A lovely flat pass right at the line. He took a couple of defenders backpedaling into the in goal. He landed on his back and was just able to get the ball to the ground. And with 8 minutes gone here at the NBI Shea, Featherstone have the lead. It's Halifax 0, Featherstone 4. What a play that was. Just a simple short ball there. Brad Day at the line, just hit the ball at pace. Big powerful man, good on his feet, just able to turn in that tackle. Plenty of Halifax jerseys in attendance. And he just managed to squeeze the ball to the ground in the in-goal area. And a vital try. And the opening score of the game goes to Featherstone Rovers. Ben Reynolds, the conversion attempt here, about 10 metres to the left-hand side of the post, 15 out. An accomplished goal kicker at all levels, Ben Reynolds, looking to open his account here this afternoon. He steps up, makes no mistake, guides the ball between the posts. Scoreline now, after just 8.5 minutes, Halifax Panthers 0, Featherstone Rovers 6. So Featherstone getting the start they wanted. James Ford will be impressed with the opening 10 minutes from his side here. They've been patient, diligent, getting through their sets, finding their kicks, good kick chase. And off the back of great heads-up play in the build-up, lovely ball over the top from Eden to Minikin, who made the best part of 40-50 metres downfield, set up the position, and they were good enough to capitalise a few tackles later with the first score of the game. Jouffre gets the game back underway. An awkward kick-off, bounces out of the clutches of Caleb Akins, but gone backwards. He's able to retrieve the ball and hand it on to Kamano. And Kamano goes down 12 metres away from his own line on the first tackle. Featherstone, nothing silly here, just need to get through their set. One of the most important sets in the game, set after points, as Gale again comes forward. Just bullying his way up to the 20-metre line and plays it quickly for Jones. Massey at pace through the middle of the ruck. He's brought to ground by Tangata and Kavanagh. And Featherstone already approaching the 40-metre line. Akins over that 40-metre line now, stands up. Tangata, he's wrapped up on the inside there. The tackle of Kavanagh. Jones pinches 10 metres out of dummy half here, Connor Jones, and they had Reynolds looming up on support but couldn't find the play, but they're already 30 metres away from the Halifax line. Akins kicks it early here, a high hanging one looking to put Graham under pressure, and he takes it well on that far side. In fact, it was McComb on the left wing that took the catch. And Crooks now smothered in a 3-man Featherstone tackle. Jones in there over the top, still inside their own 20 after 2 plays, Halifax. Up to the 30 now. McComb will play it. Lannon, introduced into the game early here due to a knock from Matty G. Did say that he got up gingerly after playing that ball a couple of minutes ago and has in fact come off for a head injury assessment. So an early change there for Liam Finn's side. A Silk all over the top of Lannon. Keys, out the back it comes to Woodburn Hall, just drops off Davies. Davies goes down in a good low tackle from Kamano. On the halfway line, he'll play it. The kick comes from Johnson. High one, a testing one, taken in the end by Eden. These kicks all travelling a little bit too far, and Halifax not able to implement any real chase, but this will certainly help them as Greg Eden has made a mistake inside his own 10-20 here, just losing the ball, getting up to play it. And an early mistake from the Featherstone fullback. His first game at fullback, of course, for Featherstone. As I mentioned, a mid-season signing from Halifax, playing against his former club for the first time. And that try to Brad Day, his 12th try of the season in just 18 appearances, which is a pretty good strike rate for a back rower. It's currently the difference between the two sides. 12 minutes gone here. Halifax 0, Featherstone 6. The Halifax with their first attacking opportunity with a scrum 20 metres out is won. Jouffre has the ball, gives it out early to Crooks. Tries to go on the outside of Barley and almost did so inside the 10-metre line now. And he's knocked the ball on there at the play of the ball. And that's a great bit of play. Great harassing defence there from Connor Barley, who initially Crooks tried to get on the outside of him. He brought him to ground, and then in his hurry, in his haste to try and get up and play the ball, just made a meal of the play of the ball there, Ben Crooks, who needed to do better there. Got plenty of experience. They're getting the fundamentals wrong and a real let-off for Featherstone there, with Halifax turning the ball over after just one tackle. And they'll have the scrum feed on their own 10-metre line. Scrum is won. Ball comes out to Minican. Minican tries to stand up Keys. He's brought to ground by Keys and McComb. 20 metres away from his own line. Win. Bumps away from Keys, away from McComb. Keys comes again. He beats it for a second time. This is brilliant from Win. He's down the touchline, eventually goes to ground. And he's tackled a metre short of the halfway line. He dived on the ground a little bit there as a cries from the Halifax fans, a voluntary tackle, not given by the referee. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen one of those given in professional rugby league. As the ball comes loose now, Reynolds losing the ball and Davis has it. And the referee's going to stop play for a double knock on here, and this will be a scrum feed to Halifax. So after a very controlled start in the opening 10 minutes, Featherstone just losing their way a little bit in the last few sets. A couple of cheap turnovers, and Halifax giving the ball back here on the halfway line. 14 minutes gone. If you're listening live on FRTV, it's Halifax Panthers 0, Featherstone Rovers 6. A converted try to Brad Day in the 8th minute, the difference between the two sides. Halifax will feed the scrum here. Johnson waiting out the back. And he gives it on to Graham. He'll play it a couple of metres into Featherstone territory. They come forward again here, Halifax. It's Jacob Fairbank just wrestling his way forward and eventually wins a penalty. In fact, he's told to go back. He's told to go back and play it. He'll play it 40 out. This is Fairbank, in fact, on the next carry. Brings it up and over the 40-metre line inside Featherstone's half. So Halifax just having a little bit of territory and possession at the right end of the field here. Johnson waits at acting half. Comes out to Jouffre. Jouffre drops off Kavanagh. Kavanagh looking to squeeze through a gap. It was closed on him by Aikens. He plays it quickly and he's lost the ball there, Ben Kavanagh. So 2 sets in a row. Both sides guilty of making mistakes and not completing their sets. The game just in the last few minutes getting a little bit scrappy. And Halifax will be really frustrated. They've had 2 back-to-back opportunities. Featherstone giving them a way in at the right end of the field and not able to get to the end of their set or apply any real pressure on the Featherstone line. Featherstone, of course, won't mind that, as they'll get the chance to clear their line now here, leading by 6 points to 0. Scrum feed is won. They come short side this time to Barley. Tries to stand up Jouffre. He's put to ground there by Crooks and the French halfback. That's Hardcastle up and over the 30-metre line as Featherstone go to their bench early here. Maurice Kamano off, Ben Nakabawai on. Silk comes forward. Strong carry, but he's bent backwards and put on his back there in an uncompromising tackle from a Tangata. Massey now. A little bit of late footwork to beat Fairbank, who comes again to close him down a metre shy of the halfway line, centre field for Featherstone. Middle of the tackle count. They come left. Nakabawai first carry. Good leg drive after contact up to the 40-metre line in Halifax's half. That will be the last one for Feth. Ball comes out, Reynolds, centre field. Puts it high now, high and hanging kick. A tricky one here for McComb, who takes it well, and he's put to ground there in a great chase from Brad Day. Plays it 10 metres out. Barber, it's Woodburn Hall, comes forward. Plays it 15 out in the middle of the field. Good tackle over the top there from Hardcastle. McComb now, plenty of touches from the Halifax winger, but only a couple of metres made forward there. He'll play it 20 out. Lannon just tries to straighten the attack. Stands in the tackle of Silk and Massey. Plays it 30 metres away from his own line. There comes left side, dropping off Kavanagh, gives it on to Woodburn Hall. Woodburn Hall just standing in tackles. Massey goes down low. And he'll play it 5 short of halfway. This will be the last one for Halifax now. Keys will do the kicking. Low trajectory kick. Takes a couple of bounces. Cut off there on the 10-metre line by Eden. Eden with a little bit of space now and is put to ground by the kicker, Keys. Featherstone start their set 20 metres out. Minican through the middle of the field. Almost left Fairbank on the ground. Did just enough to bring him down. Win Bumps away from 1-2, great yards, Connor Wynn, best part of 15 metres on that carry up to the halfway line or just short. Reynolds gives it to Gale. Gale will go up and over that halfway line, and Featherstone not finding it difficult to make territory upfield as they're well in Halifax's half once again here with a couple of tackles still remaining. Massey, good front on contact there from Fairbank. Halts his progress 30 metres away from the Halifax line. Reynolds on the last tackle, puts the kick high again. This is very much the recipe, rinse and repeat, as his Woodburn Hall claims it comfortably, but is immediately put to ground there by the chasers in Day and Miniken. Very consistent in their approach so far, Featherstone, as Massey puts the Halifax man to ground. Barber it was with the carry, and Graham now in off his left wing. He'll play 15 away from his own line. Crooks through the middle of the field, trying to test out the defensive resolve of Featherstone in the middle. That's a good tackle from Silk. And Day helping out there. Lannon tried to take on Jones, who had help from Massey there, and Halifax on the last will play it from their own 40. The kick, Jouffre's come down the blind side this time and puts the kick over the top, taken on the full by Eden. Eden took it at pace there, really attacked that ball, and he's going to be brought to ground 40 metres from the Featherstone line now. So Featherstone shading the territory once again here in the last few minutes as we approach the 19-minute mark here at the NBI Shea. It remains Halifax Panthers 0, Featherstone Rovers 6. Featherstone in possession through Connor Wynn, who plays it. Gale, 1-2 punch with the wingers, up and over the halfway line and finds his front, as he often does, Gareth Gale. And a quick play of the ball for Jones. Double pumps, gives it to Nakubawai. Nakubawai takes on Davis and Fairbank. All the way up to the 30 now, away from the Halifax line. Massive first receiver, a little bit of late footwork at the line, buys him a couple of extra metres up to that 20-metre mark. This will be the last one for Featherstone. They come on the blind side on the right. Aikens doing the kicking, puts it high, looking to put Gale on. Gale got to a good piece of that, but he's knocked it on. It was eventually touched down in the in-goal area by Hardcastle, but the correct decision, Gareth Gale getting to that ball, but wasn't able to take it cleanly. Puts it to ground, and that will be a turnover for Halifax 10 metres out. As Liam Finn, coach of Halifax, of course, spent time as a player with Featherstone. He's gone to his bench again with Kevin Leroya coming onto the field for Adam Tangata. So they come forward again here. It's a good carry there from Graham. Plays it 40 out. That's a good tackle on McComb there from Reynolds, up and out of the line, just cut him down right around the ankles. Keys, first receiver, gives it on to Lannon now. Lannon up and over towards the halfway line. He will play it. Johnson out to Keys. Keys on to Kavanagh. Kavanagh swallowed up in the tackle of Nakubawai. The kick on the short side from 40 out. Goes up in the air again from Jouffre. Both sides just really wanting to test the back three with some high kicks, but that one taken well by Eden again, who beats a couple of defenders going across the field, looking for space. He's fine. Miniken again. A carbon copy. Miniken's down the left touchline. He's just trying to chew up some metres and goes over the halfway line before he's put down by McComb. Great eyes and execution from Greg Eden once again on just the first tackle. As the ball goes backwards, out of the hands of Day, who wasn't quite ready for it. Ball picked up and cleaned up by Connor Wynn. Halifax fans are not happy with that. They thought there was a knock-on as Wynn finds an offload, an untidy one. Was almost intercepted by Joe Keys. Just losing a little bit of territory. Reynolds gives him a gobful there for that one. As Day comes forward, and the first penalty of the game goes to Featherstone. Halifax straying offside. I'd be interested to see what Featherstone do here. In fact, they're going to go for the 2 points here. Very kickable one from about 30 out, bang in front. And Featherstone will be happy with the game. This is the way this game's been going, a real end-to-end, set-for-set contest. They'll be content to just nudge themselves 2 scores in front. 22 minutes gone here in Halifax. Featherstone leading by 6 points to 0. Ben Reynolds with the ball on the tee to push this out to an 8-point lead. Great play again from Greg Eden, who we've seen already the rocks and diamonds of sometimes in his game. Came up with a pretty fundamental error on his own 10, but 2 really positive involvements, just finding Minikin on the far left sideline, really releasing the centre to chew up plenty of ground. It's given them the space, and the penalty off the back of it, which is converted by Ben Reynolds from long distance, takes the scoreline out now to Halifax Panthers 0, Featherstone Rovers 8. The travelling support to the right of us. Extremely happy with what they've seen from their side so far. The period a little bit earlier from both sides, and either side keep hold of the ball for a few sets, but largely Featherstone have been good, consistent in their approach so far as the kick-off comes, taken by Atkins in that far corner, who just hands it off now to Nakubawai. Nakubawai takes up a couple of metres forward, eventually put to ground by Leroyer. And Lannon, who's trapped in the tackle there, retreats back into the defensive line. Barley, play 2. Just bending the line there backwards, eventually put to ground there by Jouffre, 20 metres out. He'll play it now. Massey. Out to Reynolds. The shift's coming here from Eden. Eden tries to stand up his man. Eventually put to ground there by Barber. Play it 30 metres away from the line. So they come forward through Silk. Good yards after contact there from Silk. Eventually wrestled to the ground on the 40. We'll play it in the middle of the field. Ball comes out for Reynolds. Reynolds just good kick, low trajectory kick. McComb's got to get on his bike to get this one. It's going to pull up just onto the try line. Perfect kick there from Ben Reynolds. And the chase was really, really good from Connor Jones. And a fantastic set after points there from Featherstone. They have Halifax pinned on their own 10-metre line. They come forward through Woodburn Hall. The defence is up to meet him in Day and Massey. Still inside their own 20, and the penalty goes there. So just undoing all of that good work. Just a little bit too vigorous on the tackle there. Just holding on a little bit too long, Nathan Massey. And the first time really that Featherstone have invited Halifax out of their own end. A real relieving penalty there. And that'll be frustration for James Ford and his side. As they find touch, Halifax on this near side will start their set 30 metres away from their line. Davies just takes the tap and brings it back into the Featherstone line. Good tackle over the top there from Day, and Massey once again. He'll play it 5 short of halfway. That's just the first tackle though. Ball spun centre field to Fairbank. He had man on his shoulder, kept hold of it himself and drives the ball forward another 5 or 6 metres into Featherstone's half. Slow play of the ball for Fairbank. Johnson looks left, gives it left as Jouffre. Short ball there for Kavanagh. Kavanagh looking to get into the backfield. Good tackle on him from Jones. Halifax are 30 away from the line now as Johnson picks up 10 metres, easy metres out of dummy half. The markers weren't quite where they needed to be, but Silk wrestled him to the ground. Keys comes across field. Dummies almost went through the line himself there. Joe Keys, a retreating line, 10 metres away from the line on the last tackle, just to the right-hand side of the post. They come short side. The ball out the back to Jouffre. Jouffre dummies and goes himself. And that's a good tackle low down from Ben Reynolds, his opposite number. And that'll be a turnover in this far corner. Good defensive resolve on show there from Featherstone as Wynn. Head down, trying to burrow his way forward. He's brought to ground 10 metres out. Minikin, straight up carry. Met well there by Davis and Johnson. Featherstone just struggling to get out of their own end here. Barley hit the ball at pace, took on Leroyer. That was a strong carry there from the young centre. Gale comes forward. The Halifax line didn't come up to meet him there, and Gale up and over the 40-metre line now. So Featherstone have manufactured a very good set here, which Reynolds is going to kick early. Stinks it over the top of Woodburn Hall's head. It takes a couple of bounces and finds touch 5 metres away from the Halifax line. So not a bad place for Featherstone to finish their set. With 13 minutes to go to the break, scoreline remains here. Halifax 0, Featherstone 8. If you're just joining us on FRTV, converted try to Brad Day and a penalty goal to Ben Reynolds leaves Featherstone with a 2-score lead as we approach the half-hour mark. Halifax now trying to get things moving forward through Graham, plays it 10 metres out. They play it again there through Leroy, 20 metres away from his line. McComb, who's been mentioned before, has been very busy popping up all over the field. Zach McComb finds us a few metres through the middle of the field, eventually brought to ground by Jones, 30 out. Now he'll play it. Leroy, second carry in this set, up and over the 40-metre line. He's taking Featherstone defenders with him up towards that halfway mark. He'll play it. Fairbank, short ball there for Lannon. And he'll play it 5 metres into Featherstone territory. On the last tackle, they come short side on the left. Jouffre puts it high once again. That's going to be taken on the try line now, 10 metres out rather, by Eden, who's immediately smashed to the ground there by Ben Crooks. And Barley, straight up carry met by Johnson. Halifax trying to ramp things up in defence here. Gale. So difficult to stop first up. Gareth Gale finds his front once again, plays it 20 metres out. Win. Different kind of ball carrier, but just as difficult to stop. Picks up another 10 metres. Featherstone approaching that 40-metre mark now. England, who's just been injected onto the field off the bench. Good crabbing run across field and eventually bullocks it forward up and over the halfway line. So another good set clearing their own line from Rovers. Last tackle, Aikens under a little bit of pressure, untidy kick through the middle of the field. Woodburn Hall's going to have to get after this one quickly. He does. Pouches it. 20 metres out. Dummies. Bumps away from Minican, eventually put to ground there by Reynolds and Day. Halifax start their set 20 metres away from their own line. Pretty relentless this. The ball's been in play a lot in this game. There's some tired bodies on both sides here as both coaches going to their bench. The Boyers come onto the field now for Halifax. A little bit of an offload there for Barber, who picks up another 10 metres. Still inside their own half though, Halifax. Keys drops off Boyer. Boyer just comes forward and trundles the ball up and over the halfway line. A couple of tackles still to come for the Panthers. Ball comes out the back to Jouffre. Jouffre finds it. Crooks, a nice pass there out to Graham. Graham's on the outside. That's a fantastic tackle from Connor Barley. What a cover tackle that is from the young centre. There's fast hands from Crooks on the outside. They went left early. They released Charlie Graham down that left touchline. And Connor Barley raced across. Great textbook grassing tackle and rolled him into touch. And that'll be a turnover for Featherstone, 35 metres away from their own line. What a moment that was defensively for Connor Barley. And after last week's victory over Whitehaven, 66 points Featherstone scored. But after speaking to James Ford after the game, what was more impressive and what he was happiest with was the defensive effort. And with over half an hour gone here at the Shea, Halifax still with a 0 next to their name. Thanks to defensive efforts like that as they come forward again now through England. England plays it in the middle of the field, operating as a middle forward again this afternoon by the looks of things as Day comes forward, the only try scorer in this game so far, up and over the 40. He'll play it. Hardcastle. Hardcastle just straightens things up, keeps those legs pumping up and over the halfway line. The Halifax defence regroups and puts him to ground. Bang on the halfway line, almost at the centre spot there. Reynolds, first receiver, fires the ball back in field for England, who's absolutely walloped by Leroy, but deemed to have been done so illegally. And he's straight back up onto his feet there, in fairness, Brad England. Be interesting to see what happens here, because that was strong contact from Kevin Leroy, and if the referees ruled that that was high, there could be potentially some further action here for Kevin Leroy. There's obviously been a big crackdown in the last few seasons, particularly this year, on head-high contact, shoulder contact to the head. Now, without the benefit of a replay, difficult to see exactly where that contact was, but the referee with a pretty instantaneous decision that it was an illegal tackle, and there was plenty of force in it. So, be interesting to see what the referee does as he calls out Kevin Leroy here. Just to give him a talking to. Will there be a card here? There won't be. Just a talking to. I think he can count himself a little bit lucky there, Leroy, because certainly made his mark on England there, but England, fair play to him, just bounced straight back up. And the kick to touch now. Featherstone will start their set 30 metres away from the line with a full set of tackles as England comes forward. What they would give here, 8.5 minutes to go, 8 points to the good. A try here would be huge in the context of this clash for Featherstone. Day plays it, Reynolds At the back to Nakabawai. Nakabawai tackled 10 metres out just to the right-hand side of the post. They're going to come open side here, Featherstone. Reynolds, first receiver, out the back to Aikens. Flat pass there for Day. Day through the middle channel. That's a fantastic low tackle there from Connor Davies, but deemed to have been offside there, not square at marker, Halifax. And they'll have another set of 6 here to attack the line, starting 10 metres out. They're just going to roll this on here. They fancy another 4 points here as Nakabawai, route 1 carry. Brought to ground, bang in front of the left post there. Just the first tackle. What have Featherstone got? Jones out the back to Reynolds. Steps off his right foot, Reynolds. Reynolds cutting back in field. He's put to ground. There's another penalty going against Halifax, this time for a high shot on Reynolds. And the referee's just going to stop the game here and have a word to the Halifax players. That's 3 quick penalties in succession. Reynolds taps it, restarts. England, who's not feeling any ill effect of that hit from Leroy, just takes the tackle just to the right-hand side of the post, 2 metres out. Plays the ball, they come short side. Aikens, flat pass there for Barley. Barley leaves a man behind. He's got to the ground there, Connor Barley, and reaches out to ground the ball. The referee awards it. And off the back of that pressure and some ill discipline from Halifax, a great line from Connor Barley, fast hands out the back from Aikens, put him into space, he fended off the Halifax man and just burrowed his way over the line, reaching for the try line, gets Featherstone's second try of the game, and with 7 minutes to go to the break, Featherstone lead Halifax Panthers by 12 points to 0. Seven minutes to go now to the break. And Featherstone getting their second try. They've had to wait patiently for it. But it came through Connor Barley, who got his first try for the club last week and scores in back-to-back games for Featherstone. And importantly here, puts them in a position where if Reynolds can land this conversion, will take Featherstone out to a 3-score lead approaching half-time. Second try in 4 appearances for Connor Barley. On dual registration, of course, from Hull KR. Has impressed every time he's been in the Featherstone shirt, and doing so again in both attack and defence. He's had his moments in this first half as Reynolds from 5 metres in from the touchline has the conversion attempt, and he's put it between the sticks once again. 3 from 3 off the tee from Ben Reynolds. The scoreline now, Halifax Panthers 0, Featherstone Rovers 14. And Featherstone been real workmanlike in parts of this game and really built up this lead, and deservedly now 3 scores in front as the kick-off, an awkward one, takes the bounce over Barley's head, but he eventually goes back to take it, and he'll be tackled 20 metres away from his own line. 5.5 minutes to go to the break. If you're just joining us on FRTV, Halifax 0, Featherstone 14. Most recent try scorer, Connor Barley, on that right edge. Jones scampers out of dummy half, dummies, takes defenders with him, always dangerous at a retreating defensive line, and he brought down a metre short of the halfway line. Bowes, who's on the field now for the first time, gives it to Reynolds, flat pass there for Day. Day almost into the backfield there, good tackle in the end from Keys. But Featherstone already 25 metres away from the Halifax line, still tackles in the bag. The ball comes out to Aikens. Aikens out the back there to Eden. Eden, quick pass there for Barley. Barley tries to take on Crooks. Crooks brings him to ground on the last tackle. He'll play it 10 metres out on that far side. Short side play here for Gale, puts his head down, and he's eventually put to ground a metre away from the try line. If you're not going to get a repeat set or a try, that is the very next best thing. Halifax now having to clear their line from the very far corner on that far left touch line. Crooks, good tackle down low there from Day. It was Barley, I beg your pardon, on that edge with help from Hardcastle. They come forward through Graham. Graham just trying to buy a couple more metres upfield, but he's put to ground in a 3-man Featherstone tackle. Plays it on the 20. They come forward again. Good tackling over the top from Nakabawai once again. Big carry coming in from Boyer this time for Halifax. Will play it just shy of the 40. Still 2 tackles to come for the Panthers. Keys, a little bit of space here now for Jouffre. Gives the ball infield to Davies, who finds the offload back to Jouffre. Over the top it comes now to Barber. Barber tries to stand up his man, gives it back infield to Woodburn Hall. Woodburn Hall finds the offload to Johnson. Johnson waves a man back infield in the shape of Leroyer. Leroyer eventually put to ground in a good low tackle there from England. Keeping the ball alive, Halifax. They've promoted it right up to the 30-metre line inside Featherstone's half. On the last tackle, Keys goes high again. Looking to put Eden under pressure this time. Eden gets high. The ball comes out of the tackle into the hands of Graham. Graham finds a kick. It ricochets off a man and into the arms of Caleb Akins, who then finds Minikin. Minikin with a chance to counter now. And good, desperate defence. Good work off the ball from Featherstone. Salvages possession for them. Inside the final 3 minutes, and another penalty coming against Halifax there for messing around in the play of the ball. A second effort. And the tackle of Josh Hardcastle. And Halifax fans around us not happy with that call. They feel as though they've had the rough end of the referee's calls here. 4 penalties they make it in a row to Featherstone, who find touch on that far side. Will start their set on the halfway line now. The referee waves time back on. Hardcastle now comes forward, put to ground in the tackle of Boyer and Kavanagh. Slow play of the ball. Jones scampers down the short side here, looking for space. The flat pass out there to Gale. In fact, it was more than flat, it was forward. And they'd loaded up that short side. They'd done the right thing. They'd got the numbers right. They'd stripped them for numbers with the pass from Akins out to Barley, but Barley just trying to bat the ball on almost. The ball just travelling forward, and that will be a turnover. Scrum feed to Halifax on their 30. So we're inside the final 2 minutes of the first half here at the NBI Share. The score remains Halifax Panthers 0, Featherstone Rovers 14, if you're just joining us live on FRTV. Scrum feed is won by Fax. They come forward again now through Woodburn Hall. Woodburn Hall put to ground. He's lost the ball in the tackle there, Woodburn Hall, but done it so illegally. Had a helping hand according to the referee. And Halifax, with just under 90 seconds of the half remaining, will have a chance to go on the attack here and try and get themselves on the board before half-time. Keys finds touch, 40 metres out. Barber taps it. In fact, we're going to have to come back for a second ball on the field. Game now back underway. Keys fires the pass out to Jouffre, nearly went without it. Fires the short pass there for Boyer. Boyer will play it 30 out. Keys into the line. Ball out the back, an untidy one for Woodburn Hall, who has to go back, and he's brought to ground. And great defensive effort again. Smothering defence up in their face. Greg Minikin and Ben Reynolds buying this team the best part of 20 metres. Halifax really losing their way in this set. McComb comes forward up to the 40 once again. Right back where they sort of started here in this set, Halifax. Keys gives it on to Leroyer. Leroyer is put to ground there in the tackle of Nakabawai. In there to help out was Reynolds. There's set restart there against Featherstone. The flat pass there for Barber. Barber into space. Good pass, tip on from Davies. Davies now at first receiver inside the 20 with pretty much a full set of tackles to come. And a good tackle over the top of him from Brad England. 5 seconds to go here. Halifax are going to get one more play. Jouffre gives the ball out to, cuts back in field, in fact, Jouffre, and that's a great tackle. Ball and all tackle there from Josh Hardcastle as the siren sounds, and that will be the final play of the first half, in which Featherstone have had to toil, dig in an attritional game, and have built a very, very handy lead thanks to some excellent defensive work and been good enough on the counter off the back of a couple of mistakes and penalties from Halifax. Featherstone have been good enough to take advantage with 2 tries in the first half, one to Brad Day and one to Connor Barley, both converted by Ben Reynolds. And Ben Reynolds adding a penalty, of course, leaves the half-time scoreline here at the NBI Shea. Halifax Panthers 0, Featherstone Rovers 14. James Ford will be extremely pleased with what he's seen from his side in large parts here. As I said, a very composed, very patient performance, both in attack and defence. And another half of rugby where they've kept their opponents scoreless as Featherstone head into the sheds at half-time. On course at the moment for back-to-back wins in the championship. We'll take a really quick break here at half-time. Half-time score at the NBI Shea. Halifax 0, Featherstone 14. Featherstone attacking from left to right as we see it in the second half, and they will get the game underway. Halifax will have first use of the ball. Ben Reynolds puts boot to ball. Jouffre takes it, hands it on to Leroyer. Leroyer taken in the tackle. He's lost the ball in the tackle there, and it's been deemed to have been pulled out once again. So an unhappy start to the second half here for Featherstone. Immediate penalty and another penalty here for Backchat. A pretty disappointing start if you're Featherstone. As Halifax find touch 45 metres away from their line now. A real leg up for Halifax. The tap restart. Crooks was losing his footing going into that tackle, put to ground in the shot there from Hardcastle, and he's lost the ball there, Ben Crooks. And this time no help from a Featherstone man according to the referee. A really poor mistake from Crooks. I'm not sure if he was a little bit rattled by that tackle. Strong shot there over the top from Connor Jones. And for the second time in the game, Ben Crooks just losing the ball, getting up to play it. Real cardinal sin there, just can't afford to do it. Really poor play from the Halifax centre. One of the more experienced campaigners in this side, of course. And a cheap turnover, and Featherstone once again feed the scrum 30 metres away from their own line. Ball comes out here for Gale. Gale is taken in the tackle there from Crooks. Puts him to ground. Quick play the ball for Jones, who just picks up 5 or 6 metres. So good attacking against retreating markers, Connor Jones. He'll play it 5 short of halfway. Slow play of the ball. Referee ruling that Jones was trapping the man in. Bowes picked up and levelled in the tackle there, and he's lost the ball in that tackle, and that was just a good strong shot under the ball there from Corey Johnson. Really just picked him up and drove him into the ground. As saying Harry Bowes playing the unfamiliar position of a ball runner there, if he's playing operating a loose forward there. Just straight up carry, and he was levelled by the Halifax defence, and the ball squeezing out in the tackle there. So bit of a false start to the second half here. We've had 2.5 minutes gone and only a couple of tackles as both sides guilty of making mistakes. Halifax with the scrum feed on halfway. Ball is won by McComb, who comes forward. And he'll play it 40 away from the Featherstone line now. Leroyer, route 1, takes on Bowes. With some help from Nakabawa, put him to ground on the 30. Still early in the tackle camp for the Panthers. Still yet to get on the board here, Halifax. Fairbank, short ball there for Inman now on the field. Half-time substitution, his first taste of action. They come forward again, Kevin Leroyer. In fact, I'll just correct my previous one. That was Clement Boyer, the jersey number just obscured in the tackle. 10 metres out, Halifax. Keys drops off. McComb comes forward again for Davies now. Davies plays the ball 10 metres out. This will be the last one. They come open side again. Jouffre, the chip out wide here, looking for Graham. Taken by Crooks, and Crooks is taken in the air there by Gale, and it's going to be a penalty against Featherstone here. I don't think they can have many complaints about that one. It looked more spectacular than it was. I think Gale just getting up high. Both players competing for the ball. I don't think it'll be any more than just a penalty there. But Featherstone needs to be careful here with their discipline, conceding the opening 3 penalties of this second half in just under 4 minutes. Has Halifax attacking their line here. Crooks is absolutely fine to carry on. The only player not being used in this game so far, Paul Turner on the bench for Rovers. As Boyer takes the first carry off the tap restart now. Featherstone with a full set of tackles to defend on their line here. Johnson skips out a dummy half, short ball there, and that will be a try to Kavanagh. And a good disguised play there. Corey Johnson looked to go right, eventually came left with a flat pass there for Ben Kavanagh, who took the ball at pace. And despite the low tackle and defenders in attendance from Featherstone, they were unable to stop him from reaching the line. And Halifax have their first points of the game. After just 4 minutes of the second half, it's now Halifax Panthers 4, Featherstone Rovers 14. and not the way Featherstone would have wanted to start this half. Very stop-start, came from a penalty immediately off the kick-off in just the first tackle. And then a mistake. And back-to-back penalties against them, again on their try line with the pressure. Eventually telling with that try to Kavanagh and James Ford making the change. Harry Bose coming from the field. Nathan Massey will be introduced back into the game. Louis Jouffre from just to the left-hand side of the post, guides the ball between the sticks and cuts the gap to 8 points. It's Halifax 6, Featherstone 14. Featherstone just need to write off this first 5 minutes of the second half, just get back to their processes, get back to working to what was working for them in the first half. The kickoff comes from Reynolds. Taken on the try line there by Jouffre, gives it on to Leroya. Leroya making a good tackle there by Massey, straight into the action. And he's all over the top of him there. And he plays it 10 metres out now eventually. Kavanagh, the try scorer. Goes down inside his 20. Johnson at acting half. Gives it on to Boyer. Boyer coming forward again. Spinning out of a tackle and eventually put to ground by Day on the 30. Short side play here for Jouffre. Jouffre tries to go round his man. Good tackle in the end from England to close down his process. He plays it 2 metres short of the halfway line. Graham. Plays it, this will be the last one. Jouffre puts it high once again. The tester for Eden. Eden takes it well and it's put to ground 10 metres away from the line now. So Featherstone, I think it's actually just their second set of the second half here after just 7 minutes of action. And Minikin comes forward. He'll play it 20 out now. Win. 10 metres on the carry there, up and over the 30. Reynolds at acting half, gives it to Gale. Very much a back set here as Gale just leaves a man on the ground in Johnson. Plays it on the halfway line. Jones scampers out of dummy half, is surely offside there from the Halifax man, but not given as he's scragged to the ground by Leroya. Reynolds will kick it on the last. Dix, one bounce, 2 bounces, and he's going to go around the back of Woodburn Hall, who nearly went without it. Right back to the try line, and a good chase again from Nakabawai. Has Halifax pinned inside their own 10 metres, so a great kick from Reynolds once again. As Graham comes forward, and he's picked up and driven into the ground there by 3 Featherstone defenders. Still inside their own 10. Crooks. Good low tackle there from Nakabawai over the top. Hardcastle. Halifax on their own 15-metre line now. Tangata in that wide running channel just come back onto the field. Great ball and all challenge from Barley. Johnson gives it on to Crooks. Crooks met in the challenge of Massey. And Halifax are going to have to kick from 30 metres out here on the last tackle. Keys punches the ball downfield, taken on the full there again by Eden. Well read by the Featherstone fullback. And he's making a good, strong challenge there from the Halifax chasers. Gale, play 2, up and over the halfway line. How many metres forward does Gareth Gale make every carry? Already into Halifax territory comes Barley now up towards the 30-metre line. Still tackles in the bag for Rovers. Leading by 8 points. Halifax 6, Featherstone 14. Hardcastle comes off his left foot, picked up and driven into the ground there with a good tackle from Jouffre. Short side play for Akins again. Akins chip over the top there, taken by Crooks. The penalty going against Featherstone there. I'm not entirely sure what that penalty was for. Coming immediately from the kick. Taken right back to where the kick was taken, actually, so it's for some sort of challenge off the ball. Hardcastle looks to be the man who's been penalised. And the kick to touch has Halifax inside Featherstone's half, right at the start of their set here. Johnson Finds Boyer. Boyer standing in the tackle, is picked up and driven into the ground, and that's a dangerous tackle there. And Featherstone's discipline has just completely eroded at the start of the second half. I make it 5 penalties already in just under 10 minutes of second half action here. And Massey and Hardcastle in the tackle there. Lifting the player above the horizontal. And Halifax will have a penalty from 40 metres out now. It'll be interesting to see whether the referee goes any further with this one. He's going to call out Nathan Massey, the captain, who was involved in that tackle. Brad England, the man, has been called out as well. I thought it was Hardcastle in that tackle, but England must have been involved as well. Then he's going to go to the bin here, Brad England. So things getting a little bit worse again here for Featherstone, reduced to 12 men. Brad England's sin-binned for a dangerous tackle. And we'll play the next 10 minutes with 12 men. Halifax get the game back underway. First tackle is taken by Tangata, 30 metres out. Johnson scampers out of dummy half again. Nakabawai had to be alert to the danger, but Halifax can smell blood in the water here. They're 10 metres away from the Featherstone line. Boyer just takes the tackle himself. Good, strong shot underneath the ball there from Hardcastle. A try here, and Fax are right back in the game. Featherstone need to be on their mettle defensively, but defending a man down. The ball comes out to Woodburn Hall. Woodburn Hall to Barber. Barber had a man on his outside, couldn't find the pass to McComb, who just waved his hands in the air. He wanted that pass from his centre. Good tackle on the inside in the end from Day, but danger not averted as Keys comes across field, gives it to Fairbank. Fairbank stands in the tackle, eventually put to ground by Massey. And Jones bang in front of the posts. Short side play, great tackle, ball and all tackle there from Connor Jones on Tangata, a much bigger man. Try saver, last one. Keys puts the ball out wide again here. Gale takes it at the second attempt. The ball did bounce out of his arms. He collected it and had to take the ball dead, and that will be a goal line dropout. More pressure coming up on the Featherstone line here. 12 minutes of the second half gone. Halifax 6, Featherstone 14. But Featherstone under all sorts of pressure here. Some of it their own doing to start this second half. And with Brad England in the sin bin, feel this is a really crucial period of the game here. Halifax on top in terms of field position, territory, and with a man advantage. The dropout taken by Jouffre, 40 out, gives it on to Boyer. Boyer has some time to wind up and almost goes straight through the Featherstone line there. A couple of Featherstone defenders dropping off tackles. Aikens eventually puts him to ground. Pass comes out to Woodburn Hall. Woodburn Hall to Kavanagh. In off his wing there to stop him was Gale. Halifax already 10 metres away from the line. Eden's marshalling the troops behind the line. Jouffre. On to Fairbank, short ball for Tangata, great low tackle. Fantastic low tackle there from Reynolds, another try saver, but how long they can keep this up for? Keys tries to stand up Jones, that's a great ball and all tackle again from the hooker. Keys, slow play the ball, right on the try line, short side, drops off. Tangata trying to back his way to the line, great defence on show there again from Day to halt his progress. Last one for the Panthers. Big play coming up this. Jouffre looking to go out wide again here. Looking for Crooks over the top of Gale. Gale takes it, but it's gone backwards and it's taken dead, in fact, by the Halifax man, Charlie Graham. Fantastic defensive resolve from Featherstone there. Defending the best part of 3 sets on their line with a man down. Have turned Halifax away once again. And Greg Minikin off the tap restart in the 7-tackle set. Plays the ball 30 out. Win up and over that 40-metre line. Now then. What could Featherstone muster in attack here? That will have been an energy-sapping 5 minutes or so there. Reynolds short side play there for Day. Day up and over the halfway line. It's going to be a slow play of the ball here as he's taken to ground by Davies. Massey. Route 1 straight through the middle of the ruck. Takes defenders with him. Up and over that 40. Plays it. 30 out. Reynolds into the line, finds Day. Day finds Minikin. Minikin bumps away from one. Still going Minikin inside the 10-metre mark. Still 2 tackles to come for Featherstone. Would be huge if they could go up the other end and score here as Massey comes forward. Taking in the tackle of 3 Halifax defenders. Davis in there with Tangata. Last one. Ball comes out. Reynolds dummies, goes himself, and he's wrapped up in that far corner. But Featherstone will turn the ball over 5 metres away from the line here as a feature of their first half. Happy to just turn over possession at the wrong end of the field and challenge Halifax to go up the other end. Halifax making a change. Lannon on for Clement Boyer. As Halifax pinned inside their own 10 here. Good tackle over the top was Day. Come forward again. Fairbank, I believe it is. It's put to ground in the middle of the field, 10 metres out. Graham stopped in a good shot there over the ball from Aikins, defending in the line, of course. Lannon didn't have a lot of room to wind up there. Taking in the tackle of Jones, but plays it quickly. Johnson's going to kick from dummy half here. Didn't get a lot on that. Taken on the full by Connor Wynn. Wynn's got 20 metres to chew up here. And eventually meets the defensive line. Still going forward, Connor Wynn, right up to just short of the halfway line. And he's just caught awkwardly in the tackle there. It was an awkward looking tackle. Don't think there was any intent in it. It had a little bit of a crusher mechanism in it from Fairbank. Completely accidental if so. But Wynn just receiving some attention here as the clock stops. Just under 15 minutes of the second half gone. It remains Halifax Panthers 6, Featherstone Rovers 14. The only try score of the second half coming to Ben Kavanagh. And Featherstone, of course, still down to 12 men at the moment with Brad England in the sin bin. And it looks like Halifax are going to make another change here. Corey Johnson coming off with Tom Inman coming onto the field for the first time this afternoon. So now my previous statement correct. Paul Turner, the only substitute we're yet to see in this one. Connor Wynn, thankfully, okay to carry on, and he will play the ball on the halfway line eventually, but the referee calling out Keys and Fairbank here. I think Fairbank's going to be put on report. In fact, he's going to go to the sin bin here for the crusher tackle. So the touch judges and the referee have had another look at this, and Jacob Fairbank sent to the sin bin for a crusher tackle. So both sides now down to 12 men. And it will be a penalty as well, crucially, to Featherstone. Their first of the second half. And this will give Featherstone the field position to attack the Halifax line, of which they've had very, very few opportunities in the second half. Reynolds finds touch on this near side. And just like that, Featherstone will start their set. 20 metres away from the Halifax line. Next score crucial in this game as we approach the hour mark. Barley off the tap restart, taken to ground on the 10-metre line. Full set of tackles here for Featherstone. What have they got in attack? Short side play here for Hardcastle. Hardcastle's going to be difficult to stop. He's held up in the tackle there of Crooks. And Graham in there to help out with Jouffre. He'll play it tight in this corner. Long pass out to Aikins, on to Massey. Massey was met quickly by the Halifax line. Still standing in the tackle here, Nathan Massey. Eventually goes to ground, 10 out, just to the right-hand side of the post. Numbers on this right side. Aikins dummies, almost slipped the net himself, but a good tackle from Ben Kavanagh closed the door on him. He'll play it 5 metres out. Just to the right-hand side of the post. Looping pass out to Reynolds. Reynolds out to Minican. Minican with a little bit of room to work. Minican's got them second-guessing. And he goes down a metre short of the line on that far left touchline. Last tackle. Ball comes back in field for Reynolds. Reynolds just dinks it into the in-goal area, looking for Nakabawai. And he's taken. Kavanagh is taken, but the man run off the ball there by Halifax. And that will be another penalty to Featherstone. And another opportunity to go on the attack here and just take some petrol out of the tank of Halifax. They're going to roll this on here, Featherstone. They're not interested in the 2. They want more here. They know that the next score will have a massive impact on this game as Massey plays it. 5 metres out, just to the left-hand side of the post. They come short side on the left. Reynolds out the back for Minikin. Eden, it's a horrible pass from Eden, just forward and looped into touch. And Featherstone just getting things wrong on just the second play there again, unable to capitalise and really put Halifax under pressure. The ball finds touch on that far side, and that'll be a turnover. Halifax with a chance to clear their line. 18 minutes gone here in the second half of the NBI Shea. Halifax Panthers 6, Featherstone Rovers 14 it remains. Crooks off the tap restart, he's driven back in a great tackle under the ball from Barley and Hardcastle in there over the top. Featherstone trying to ramp things up defensively here. Jones comes again on Graham. Hardcastle harassing him to the ground on the inside. He'll play it 30 metres out. Ingman gives it on to McComb. McComb crabbing across field. Had the option to give it to Tangata. He's going to have to go down here or risk giving away a penalty, and he in fact loses a few metres there. So great energy in defence from Featherstone here. Minikin comes again. Takes Lannon low. In fact, he evades the tackle in Minikin, but can't get away from Hardcastle. Hardcastle all over the man and eventually penalised there. The referee said that he was trapped in the tackle, but then quickly changed his mind when the tackle continued, and Featherstone giving away another penalty here. Become quite a whistle-happy second half here. Penalty count 8-7 in Halifax's favour. And the tap restart off the penalty, taken by Barber, and Halifax now 30 metres away from the Featherstone line with a full set of tackles. 21 minutes to go at the NBI Shea. Halifax 6, Featherstone 14. Tangata with a wild pass from Inman, eventually taken on the 30 once again. Good tackle up from Jones. Lannon taking it forward again. All over him is Day and Massey. Just refuses to be put to ground, and now he's lost the ball in the tackle there, and it's given us a knock-on against Ryan Lannon. You could see what he was trying to do. There were certainly Featherstone hands in the ruck there, but just holding on to the man, and as they released him just letting go of the ball and deemed to a knock-on there by the referee, and that is not a decision that's been well met by the Halifax fans around us. They believed it had some help out. And frustration, and now a penalty against Halifax for dissent against Ryan Lannon. That's the second time we've seen team penalised for dissent in this second half. The second half of this game becoming very stop-start with the referee involvements. But Halifax only with themselves to blame here as Brad England returns to the field now. Featherstone back up to the full complement of 13 men as James Ford looks to his bench again now with Maurice Kamano replacing Ben Nakabawa in the middle. Inside the final 20 of this game, England with the carry up and over the halfway line now. Halifax 6, Featherstone 14. Reynolds double pumps, gives it to Aikens. Aikens and Day, it's pace Day into the backfield and brought to ground there by Davis and Keys. Plays it, 25 out. Centre field they come again through Kamano. Kamano taken high in the tackle there from Halifax. Tangata, I believe the man, just puts his hand up there. He knows he got it wrong in that play. And they're just going to roll this on again here, Featherstone. They know that a try here could go a very long way to sealing the 2 points here. Still plenty of time, of course, but leading by 2 scores. A converted try here puts them 3 scores up once again as England backpedaling up towards the 10-metre line. He's brought to ground just to the left-hand side of the posts. Jones, flat pass there for Massey. Massey's going to be hard to stop. He's brought to ground a metre short, bang in front of the upright. Still tackles to come. Options left and right. Which way they're going to come? They come right. Aikens out the back to Eden. Eden to Barley. Barley is taken to ground there in a good ball and all tackle from Ben Crooks. Been a good battle on that side between the two centres, and Crooks now penalised for being in the ruck. The penalty count just climbing and climbing and climbing in this game on both sides. Tap restart. Gale fires the ball infield to Akins. Akins on to Kamano. Kamano just stands in the tackle, thought about the offload, keeps hold of it himself. Jones. Flat pass there for Hardcastle. They weren't quite ready for him, but they've regrouped in time to bring him down a metre short of the line. 10 metres to the right-hand side of the post. They must come open side here. Akins, middle of the field, out to Reynolds. The space out here now if they can get it there. Day put to ground in a great tackle from Keys. He had men on the outside, but he couldn't find them. Ball back in for England. England going across field. Scampers out of the tackle and eventually put to ground again on the second attempt by Tangata. Just losing a bit of ground there on that play, Brad England. 10 metres out now. They come left, inside for Massey. Massey put to ground by Tangata again. This will be the last one. Featherstone haven't done a great deal with the ball in this set. Jones scampers out to me. Flat pass there for Day. Day's going to be hard to stop. Has he got the ball down again, Brad Day? He got 3 tries last week and he's going to just stay on 1 this afternoon. For now, as Halifax have held him up. And a huge, huge defensive play from Halifax. There were 4 jerseys around him to prevent him from getting the ball down. It looked as if Day had managed to get the ball into the in-goal area, but not able to get it on the ground, and that will be a turnover. Crucial defensive play that could just keep Halifax in this game. Crooks now. Bundled backwards in the tackle of Kamano. 16.5 minutes to go here at the NBI Shea. Halifax 6, Featherstone 14. Featherstone yet to add to their half-time tally, but certainly playing the game at the right end of the field in the last few minutes as Crooks comes forward again in his second carry. Put to ground again by Jones. He'll play it 20 out. Jouffre gives it on to Graham. Graham nearly went without it. And he's flirting with that touchline. Had shades of taking him towards it, but let him play it 40 out. Ball comes back out to Lannon. Lannon just losing a little bit of ground there. Plays it for Inman. Gives it on to Keys, last tackle. Punches the ball down there. It's cut off on that touchline on the far side by Eden. Saving a 40-20 there. Eden, and he's put to ground 25 away from his own line. Quarter of an hour of the game remaining. 8 points the difference. Gale. In fact, it's Connor Wynn, I beg your pardon, plays it. Minican. Minican straighten up the attack up towards the halfway line again. Jones, this time Gale, comes forward. Gale up to the 30-metre line, 40-metre line. He's hurt himself in that tackle, Gareth Gale. Gets up and plays it. It's his shoulder, I believe, as Reynolds takes the line on himself and just burrows it forward. This will be the last one. Akins has a lot of room to wind up here and put the kick up. Looking for Graham. Graham's put the ball down. And that will be a set restart. Another set of tackles coming for Featherstone here. As Gale seems to have recovered from that shoulder injury. And he'll play it now 15 metres away from the line. Crucial set now for Featherstone. 8 points in front, 14.5 to go. A try here could just see them take the 2 points away from Halifax here. Hardcastle plays it 10 metres out. Silk now back on the field, you'd imagine, for the remainder of the game. Plays it bang in front of the posts. Jones at acting half. Out it comes to Akins. Out to Reynolds. Reynolds over the top, the pass to Wynn. Wynn couldn't take it in. And it was just too far in front of him from Ben Reynolds. He drops the ball, spills it over the touchline. And Featherstone still looking for that killer blow that they just can't find at the moment. The ball evading Connor Wynn into touch. And another let-off for Halifax here. Score remains Halifax 6, Featherstone 14. And Halifax looking to clear their line here. They come forward again through McComb. McComb goes forward as Johnson returns to the field for Halifax. Had some running repairs. He's back on the field. Jacob Fairbank there as well, back into the game. So both sides back up to the full complement of players once again. Keys into the line, gives it out the back to Woodburn Hall. Woodburn Hall finds Barber at pace, but great defence on the inside there from England. They come forward. The ball to Jouffre. Jouffre drops off Kavanagh. Kavanagh finds the offload there for Johnson. Johnson flat pass there for Barber. Finds the offload for Woodburn Hall. Woodburn Hall out it comes to Johnson. Johnson with the kick in behind the line there. Taken on the bounce. One bounce by Connor Wynne, who read it well in fairness and got back to clear the danger. He'll play it 20 out. Minican off his right foot. Straight back into the teeth of the ruck of Halifax. 12 and a half to go. Gale trundles it forward again. Goes down in a three-man Halifax tackle. Eden trying to wrestle his way up to the halfway line. He'll play it just a couple of metres short, in fact. Jones out to Reynolds, going to kick early. Trying to punch the ball down behind the wingman McComb, who cuts it off on one bounce and has a wall of blue jerseys in front of him, and it's Silk and Jones in there to greet him again, trapped inside his 20. Graham, good tackle under the ball there from Barley. Crooks comes forward, trying to wrestle away from Kamano, who comes again at the second attempt, puts him to ground, 30 out. Keys, out the back it goes to Jouffre, to Johnson. Johnson out to McComb, that is on that far side. Halifax are 10 metres into Featherstone's half here. Late in the tackle count, Jouffre finds Johnson again. Ball comes out to Jouffre on the last. Puts it high. Testing one here for Gale. Gale takes it well, Gareth Gale, and he's picked up and driven to the ground by his opposite man, Charlie Graham. But he has retained possession for his side, and he's a bit worse for wear after that tackle, Gareth Gale. Been in the wars in the last few minutes. A couple of big knocks. That was a very strong challenge there from Charlie Graham. The physio's on to make sure that he's okay. Just under 11 minutes to go here at the NBI Shea. Halifax 6, Featherstone 14. Real arm wrestle of a game here. Not much in it, but Featherstone with that crucial 8-point lead as it stands at the moment. Gale is okay, he'll play it. He has to go back to the mark, and we'll play it 10 out. Barley. Halifax defence was up there to meet him. Hardcastle comes forward to the 20. Slow play of the ball. Jones an acting half. Minican. Willing runner once again. Greg Minican. Now eventually put on the ground. Smothering tackle there from Davies. Reynolds is going to kick early here. A low trajectory kick. I don't know whether that took a touch off the referee actually, but it's eventually cut off by Woodburn Hall. He didn't get a huge amount on that kick, and Woodburn Hall is taken to ground on the Halifax 40. Come forward again through McComb. McComb picked up and driven into the ground as a penalty. I think that's a tough borderline call there from the referee. It's Reynolds and Day, the players penalised, deemed to have been done so for tipping above the horizontal, but it will just be a penalty. No further action at this point. 9.5 minutes to go here. Halifax have a chance to get themselves back into the game here with a set inside the Featherstone half. They'll start their set 30 metres away from the line. The tap is taken, given to Davies now. Davies just carts it forward, put to ground by Massey and Day. 20 out now, Halifax. Ball fired out to Johnson. Johnson gives it on to Fairbank. Fairbank put to ground by Silk and Jones, 15 metres away from the line. Out the ball, the back it comes to Jouffre. They leave the ball behind there, Halifax. I'm not sure who the man was that made the mistake. He came firing onto the ball, but the timing was all wrong and they made the error. And Featherstone gleefully pick up the scraps there. I think it was Ryan Lannon who made the mistake, actually, as they come forward again here, Featherstone, and a chance to clear their line. Jones gives it to Nakabawa, who's back onto the field now. He goes again, Nakabawa, and he's penalised. In fact, he's not penalised, he's just told to go back and play the ball. It's tackled there by Boyer. England put to ground a metre short of the halfway line. Nakabawa again. We'll just play the ball 40 metres away from the fax line. This will be the last one. Aikens doing the kicking once again. Puts it high. Looking to make a contest of it for Woodburn Hall, but the chasers not able to get to him and put him under any pressure, and he's brought to ground 20 metres away from the line. Graham trundles it forward. Stands in the tackle, finds an offload out to Jouffre. Jouffre gives it on to Barber. Barber immediately set upon by Miniken, who puts him to ground on the 40. 7.5 minutes to go. Featherstone still lead by 14 points to 6. Time starting to become an issue for Halifax. Keys. Short ball there for Fairbank. It's gone over the top of Hardcastle there, who did well to regroup. He's dazed a little bit perhaps in that tackle. Jouffre digs into the line, gives it out the back. Woodburn Hall finds Graham. And Graham can't advance the ball as far any further than England. In fact, he gets around him. And he's put to ground eventually. Barley down in back play with cramp. So Featherstone down a man in defence at the moment. Last tackle, Jouffre puts it high to that far touch line. It's taken by the Halifax man, battered back in field for Keys, and then Keys eventually loses the ball. And it's cleaned up by Greg Eden. Fine margins in this game. The Halifax man got himself to the ball. I think it was Barber who managed to get through. He had 3 goes at it, managed to bat the ball back in field, and it was a live ball at that point. But Keys not able to collect it, and Eden dived on the scraps. As Gale trying to go forward here, round his man, Gareth Gale into space, and eventually bumps off Graham, and he's put to ground there by Jouffre. And they're still having to stop play here as Connor Barley, still down with cramp, is unable to shake this off. He's just going to have to come to the sideline here and out of play. Don't think he's going to have to go off here, Barley, but he's just going to have to be taken to the touchline here so that he can get some running repairs. Six and a half minutes to go. Game back underway. Aikens gives it on to England. England just looking for some tied defenders back through the ruck. Finds Ben Crooks and Kavanagh. And he's gone without the ball there, Silk. Silk just losing the ball under pressure there. The Halifax defence was up quickly to meet him. He just took his eye off the ball, and what's been an impressive debut so far for Zeus Silk. Just blotting his copybook there with an error, and an untimely error deep inside his own half. Inside the final 6 minutes here at the NBI Shea, it remains Halifax Panthers 6, Featherstone Rovers 14. Featherstone doing it tough at the moment here, having to defend manfully as they keep giving Halifax opportunities. Scrum feed is won by Jouffre. Jouffre gives the ball on to Barber. Great tackle there from Day on Barber to close the door on him. Boyer comes forward. Boyer stands and dropped in the tackle there. They come out wide to Jouffre. Jouffre on to Kavanagh, who's got 1 try this afternoon. Aikens closes him down. Ball comes out to Keys. Keys. Out the back it comes to Jouffre again. They've got numbers on wide here. Barber cuts back in field. He's just tripped up there in the tackle by Reynolds. If he'd gone wide there, McComb was a chance of scoring, but a try saver again from Reynolds. Johnson kicks for himself, Corey Johnson. The kick is untidy, it's taken, and it's grounded on the dead ball line by Corey Johnson. And a huge play, a matter of absolute inches for Halifax. The ball just travelling a bit too far and deemed to have been put down dead on the dead ball line by Corey Johnson. And Halifax, a chance goes begging. Featherstone with a 7 tackle set, and defence On top again from Featherstone. Connor Barley and Greg Eden were in the picture. They arguably got in each other's way and the ball spat out the back. But the ball just evading Johnson over the dead ball line. As Hardcastle plays it 40 metres away from the Halifax line. England takes the pass from Aikins, bumps away from 1, 2, still going Brad England. Put to the ground by Clement Boyer. As Silk now comes forward again. Tries to get up and play it quickly. Here's Silk. Ball comes out to Reynolds. Reynolds drops off Day. Day to a little bit of a half gap. Put to ground on the last tackle. Needs to play it quickly here. There's a chance. Last tackle, 10 metres out. Reynolds. The kick infield looking for Eden. And it's taken dead by the Halifax man. That will be a goal line dropout. Great kick and great chase from Reynolds and Eden respectively. 3.5 minutes to go. And Featherstone with a chance to wrap this game up now. Still leading by 14 points to 6. They've gone for the short dropout. They had to. Jouffre is a quick one. Taken backwards by Gale. And it goes into touch. Be interested to see. He's ruled that that's come off Ben Crooks, in fact. So it will be a scrum 10 metres out to Featherstone. Just thinking that Gale can't get a touch to that with how casually he watched that ball go over the touchline. He was confident that Crooks had got the touch on that one and it was deemed to have done so. Inside the final 3 minutes here. Halifax 6, Featherstone 14. No points in the second half for Featherstone. But crucially still lead by 8 points. And a chance to put the game to bed here as Eden knocked off his feet there in the tackle from Ed Barber. Just flew out of the line there and really chopped him down in an awkward looking tackle. Binneken going to go close here, almost stepped his way straight through the line there. He'll play the ball a metre short. Jones, flat pass there for England. England against a retreating defensive line and a penalty goes against Featherstone for running into the back of his own man and deemed to have taken an advantage. So with just over 2 minutes to go, Featherstone failed to land the killer blow once again and they let Halifax off the hook. A clearing penalty from Halifax. They'll start their set. 25 out. Tap restart. Keys out to Jouffre. Out to Kavanagh. Kavanagh's Halifax's only try scorer in this game. Inman comes short side. Woodburn Hall onto Crooks. Crooks cut down in the tackle of Barley. Onto the 40. Boyer crabbing across field, looking for some space. He's ridden to the ground in a good tackle from England. They come forward again through Johnson. Johnson will play it 5 metres into Featherstone's half. 90 seconds to go here at the NBI Shea. It's now or never for Halifax. Jouffre out the back for Woodburn Hall. Woodburn Hall onto Graham. There's Featherstone defenders all around him. He has to go to ground. Good tackle. And that'll be the last one for Halifax. Their last chance. He's going to have to kick from 30 out here, Jouffre. He puts the ball high into the sky. Eden gets up and collects it well. And he's taken to ground on the 10-metre line. And that should be enough for Featherstone to secure the 2 points here in Halifax. Inside the final minute here. As Gale, who's been fantastic with carries off his wing, takes another one, as has this man, Greg Minnican. Plenty of carries, plenty of hard work. Will play it 20 metres out. Featherstone know they've got this game won. They just need to see out this set. Hardcastle. Up to the 30-metre line now. Eden. Just takes a straight up, no nonsense carry to the 40. Last tackle for Featherstone. 20 seconds left. Reynolds fires the ball downfield, picks out Woodburn Hall on the fly, gives it to Graham. Graham careers back into the defensive line and he's taken by Caleb Aikins. Put to ground. And that will be the final play of the game as the siren sounds. Featherstone have done enough. At times it wasn't pretty in the second half. A bit of ill discipline crept into the game and put them under pressure, but the feature of their game in the last 2 games is their defence. The desperation they showed, particularly down to 12 men when Brad England was sin-binned early in the second half. They had to repel plenty of possession and attacking threat from Halifax and came up trumps. We're only conceding the 1 try to Ben Kavanagh in the second half. And that's ultimately been good enough to get Featherstone home as they built a 14-0 lead at half-time. They weren't able to add to their tally in the second half, but the second half was all about defence from Featherstone, and largely they've come through it with flying colours. James Ford will be extremely happy with that. As the defensive side of the game, they've shown that they can grind out a win, and Featherstone make it back-to-back wins in the Betfred Championship. The season well and truly back on track as they retain their place in the top 6. They've come out hard-fought and worthy winners here at the MBI Shea. Full-time in this Betfred Championship Round 15 clash. It's finished Halifax Panthers 6, Featherstone Rovers 14. Thank you very much for listening live on FRTV. Have a very good afternoon.